Hey up everybody, welcome back to the Audio Cycling YouTube channel, where today I'm going to be doing a preview of the Tour of Oman. This is the next Middle Eastern race heading towards the UAE Tour, which is going to be the big sort of crescendo in about a week or so. The Tour of Oman, we've got very limited sprint opportunities and we've got lots of GC opportunities, so we're going to be looking at all of the stages, making some predictions and also giving a GC podium at the end of the video. Stage 1 is pretty much the only sprint opportunity for the sprinters in this race, just because the rest of the profiles are pretty much uphill. However, it must be noted that there is a slight rise up to the line here, and there's also a 1 kilometre 5% climb within like the 10 kilometres of the finish. However, given that this is the only sprint stage of the week, I do expect it to finish that way, because otherwise it would just be a wasted journey for all the sprinters to come here. So the big name that a lot of people are probably talking about is Mark Cavendish, who is going to be lining up with his new team, Astana, and we're going to be seeing how he's going to be fitting into this team with a new lead out. I think it's going to be Martin Lars who's going to be leading him out, but there's also Leonardo Basso, Manuel Ibarra, Fedorov. Maybe Lutsenko might get involved, he might not, I don't really know. But we're going to have to see how Cav is gelling with his lead out here. He will face some competition though from the likes of Tim Merlier, who equally comes with a pretty lackluster lead out in my opinion. He's got Bert van Leeuwenberger, Josef Schörny and Jordi Wallop, who's a recent signing from B&B when they kind of folded. But they also have quite a lot of GC riders here, so Merlier doesn't really have the full support of the team. Ackerman is a very similar scenario. He will have Gibbons, Stackerberger Lagen as well, but UAE lacking one man. They are only bringing 6 riders to this race. So Ackerman, he didn't look great at the Saudi Tour. Hopefully he's bouncing back and going to be doing something here. You know, maybe Matt Walls possibly might contest this. Max Kanter for Movistar. Alexander Salbi for Bengal. Rudiger Selig possibly for Lotto. I actually expect Axel Zongler for Cofidis to be doing a pretty decent ride here. He was looking very strong in a lot of the Mallorca Challenge races, so I think Zongler, very, very prospectful French talent, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in this race. And then there's a couple of other ones possibly, but I'm not going to mention them because I've covered all the big names. And honestly, I think that given the lack of pure lead-out strength here, I think that it could easily go to just a bit more of an opportunistic rider. I'm going to go with Max Kanter to win the stage for stage 1. Stage 2, and we have the first hilltop finish. It is 2.8 kilometres at 7%, so it's not the hardest climb. There won't be huge gaps in GC here, but it's certainly going to be worthwhile trying not to lose time here, obviously. Given the nature of it, it will probably go to somebody who get a good kick away and sprint to the finish line. I think it might be on the fringes for Axel Zongler, who I was just talking about. We, of course, have last year's winner, Jan Hurt, who will be looking to probably not lose time here. I'm not sure if this is his sort of terrain. It's probably a bit too punchy for him in my eyes. But they also have Fausto Masnada and Mauri van Zevenant, who are 2 incredible options to have as well with the team. With those 3, they could easily win Team GC in my opinion. So either one of those 3 could be a good one. Ulissi and Formolo for UAE, both good options as well. We've got Mienquez, Geoffrey Bouchard, Christian Rodriguez for Arkea, Buchmann, Aliotti, and Kijn Uiterblux for Bora. Of course, Uiterblux having a lot of attention around him, considering that he's going to the Vuelta later this year, so lots of eyes are on him. Lutsenko, who won the Tour of Oman in 2018 and 19, so sort of a previous win in the past. Jorgensen, Sosa, Verona for Movistar could all be winning here. Monique for Soudal Destiny. Jesus Herrada possibly for Cofidis. Roger Adlia for Equipo Kern Pharma. You know, all of those are really strong names to be throwing into the hat here. For me, considering that he has been looking in decent form recently and it's not like a crazy hard finish, I think that Diego Ulissi will be winning this stage because I think he has a better kick than his teammate Formolo. Stage 3, a bit of a harder climb considering that it's roughly the same gradient, 7.7%, but it's 4.6 kilometres this time round, so it's definitely going to be longer, taking the sting out of the legs, and I think that will definitely take away the chances of somebody like an Ulissi, for example. I think they'll be working more for Formolo in this stage, and again, it's all the similar names that I was just saying in the stage before. I think that Soudal Quickstep certainly have a lot of advantage here, considering they have, in my opinion, probably one of the strongest mountain kind of trains here, if you want to call it that. But Bora also, I think, provide the strongest competition to them in terms of team strength going up the hills. But it just depends, do they have the guy to finish it off. In my opinion, I think it would be Blux or Aliotti. I think Aliotti, considering that he looked the best, he looked pretty good in the Tour Down Under. I think he finished like in the top 10 on that last stage around Mount Lofty. I think he would be my favourite out of the Bora team, considering that Blux hasn't really looked too good. He did a bit of a Hail Mary attack in the Trofeo Antrax, I think, in the Mallorca Challenges, so we'll wait and see how he does. Bookman, I'm not too sure. And then, yeah, Soudal, I think honestly their best shot lies with maybe Mauri van Zevenen, just giving a bit of a Hail Mary. And then maybe kind of the others looking at each other a bit. So for me, I'm going to go between like Aliotti and Van Zevenant. And for me, I think I'm going with Van Zevenant to win stage 3. Stage 3 up the Jabal Hat. Stage 4, we've got the Yiti Hills to finish, and this looks like a really interesting stage, sort of like an Ardennes style classic. Pro profile makes it look perhaps a bit more severe than it does in reality. The gradients aren't too severe, kind of 4 to 6%. So it's going to be a like not too strenuous finish, 1.7 kilometers long at 5.9%. And I think it's going to be Ulissi doing pretty well here. He should really be looking to do quite well. Maybe even like Greg van Avermaet, Andrea van der Lam could be good options as well here, because they can climb really well as sprint. I think that Zongler is going to be an absolute really hard to beat in this stage, considering just how perfect this finish is for him. Very similarly, Roger Ledelia for Equipo Kern Farmer. I think the shallower gradients will certainly help him. But for me, I will love the prospect that I think Zongler will win this stage up for Yiti Hills. It's really up his alley. The sort of shallower gradients, this hilltop finish, but a little bit flat at the top. Perfect for Zongler. I think he's going to be winning stage 4. And then stage 5 up the Green Mountain. As I said, this was where Jan Hurt put the race to bed last year. Absolutely destroyed the competition. It's a brutal climb. It is 5.7 kilometers at basically 10. And it's an absolute brute. Jan Hurt, of course, will be looking to defend his title here with a very strong team around him. However, there is stiff competition here. You know, Formula did look really good at the Saudi Tour, and I think that UAE, of course, you know, being like a Middle Eastern team, they will be looking to really try and win this race, because, of course, they lost the Saudi Tour, but they need to represent these Middle Eastern races really strongly, considering that they are a Middle Eastern team. They are the Middle Eastern team, and I think Formula is going to be their main man for this. Although, yes, Jan Hurt, Mienkes will be also up there, in my opinion. Bouchard, the guys from Bora, Lutsenko, the guys from Movistar as well. It's going to be a really fierce competition without an out-and-out favourite. I think it's hard to say who's going to be winning. But for me, I'm going to go with stage 5 is going to go to Davide Formolo. I think that he has the motivation to be doing really well here, and he looked really good at Saudi Tour, only beaten by Ruben Guerrero, who doesn't come to this race. So I think Formolo's got a really good shot of winning. And that brings me to the podium that I think will be for GC. So in third place, I am going to go with the 2018 and 19 winner, Alexei Lutsenko. He will be in third place. Second place, Giovanni Aliotti of Bora Hansgrohe. And then in first place, I'm going to pick Davide Formolo, who will win it on the last stage. But let me know in the comments down below, do you think that's a reasonable prediction? And if not, put your podium prediction in the comments. And all that is left to say is to keep safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Salut!